All right, welcome to another team call. It is March 21st. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, it means a lot to me that you guys carve this time out of your lives, your busy schedules, to focus on your business, and I always try to make sure that we have some good content for you guys. I wanted to say a couple of things really quick. Next week I will be gone all week, Monday through Friday. I will be in Utah at the Haven Retreat, and there is no Wi-Fi or connectivity there whatsoever, so I will not be available at all because I'll be up in the mountains in Utah at the cabin. What I've done is I've lined up 2 Black statuses, including Jennifer, our upline, and another Black status outside of our circle to come talk to you guys, and 1 other speaker. So there will be 3 lives while I'm gone with Black statuses and people coming in to do trainings. I would appreciate it a lot if you guys show up, especially for the Black status that's not in our circle. I hate to ask for a favor and then nobody shows up, and I'm not even here to like know about it, you know what I mean? So if you guys could just make your presence known when those calls, I'll have the schedule ironed out on Monday, but when they go live in the group, if you guys could try to make an effort to show up for them, I would super duper appreciate it, and let them know that, you know, the Glam Squad is serious about doing the damn thing. Okay, I'm going to switch this view because as soon as I get back from Utah, I go right into speaking at a training in Frederick for the Euphoric Divas. If you guys aren't sure, Tiffany Offenstein, she's a purple status. I think she's got 500 or 600 girls on her team, and she's doing her first independent training, and she asked me to be one of the speakers there. And so I've already created my slides and my talk, but I thought I would give my talk to you guys because I hate the idea that I would be giving other people's teams content that I haven't given to you guys, right? Like, I want you guys to have everything that I have first before I start dishing it out to other people. And I thought this would be a good time for me to do a run through because I'll be standing up and speaking in front of, 150 plus girls. Okay? Is that cool with you guys? All right, so I'm going to switch my screen so that you guys can see my slideshow. Let's see. That's why I was up at 5 a.m. I had PowerPoints on the brain. All right, share screen. Here we go. All right, can you guys see this? Let me move this out of the way. We'll move it right here. Okay, so the title of my talk is called Building Your Palace. And a couple of weeks ago for a Sunday school, I told you guys a little story. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that story again, just to refresh your mind and also to tie into the theme of this talk that I'm giving. The 2,000 years ago at the foothills of the Himalayan mountains, there was this town that was world renowned for its architecture, and the master builder of that town had created this reputation for outstanding craftsmanship in his level of effort. And his entire career, he had become the guru, if you will, of architecture and building cutting edge structures in this town. And after a long career, the king died. And he went to the new young king, the prince became the king, and he said, "Young king, I have served your father for many, many years. I would like to retire." And the young king says, "Master builder, absolutely. We're indebted to you for all of your many accomplishments. I would just ask that you make one more palace." So the builder, who is in servitude to the king, can't say no because it's not, America. And so he walks away, and inside he's like, who does this young king think he is? How dare him, ask me to do this? And resentment starts to build, and frustration begins to build. And as the construction of this palace is underway, he starts cutting corners, and he starts using cheaper materials, and he starts skimming the building fund, and he starts not showing up and scaling back the plans, okay? And so finally the palace is complete, and he goes to the ribbon cutting ceremony, and the young king is there, and the young king says, "Master builder, you have served my family for decades, and we are so honored to have all of these amazing buildings because of you. We would like to gift you this palace in honor of all of your work." And I think that that's such an amazing story because it's about integrity and it's about working your business behind the scenes, even when nobody's looking, even when you're not really getting your, what you feel like you're due. You know what I'm saying? Even when you're, even when you don't want to, even when you're sick, even when you're tired, even when you feel like you shouldn't have to, it's about doing the right thing anyway, behind the scenes when nobody's looking. So that brings me to my next slide, which is about asking you guys to look at your business and decide, come on, what kind of palace are you building? And it's not just about, you know, the outside, the frills, the embellishments, the ornate glitter and sparkle. It's about what's behind the walls. When you break down the walls, you look at the plumbing, you look at the electrical, you look at the foundation. That is what signifies a really good building and a really good structure, right? So it's the fundamentals, it's the, you know, sending your friend requests, it's the organization, it's everything about the networking business. It's becoming a master, a guru in this industry. It's not just simply about taking some selfies or making a good video or even being pretty. It doesn't even matter how pretty you are. You can be successful in this business. It doesn't matter how young you are. You can be successful in this business. It's about pulling back, taking down the drywall, and looking behind the scenes where the work is happening. All right? So you can look at your own business right now, and I promise you, the business that you're sitting on is the business that you've built. And that's real talk. The business that you have right now is the palace that you've built. So if you're sitting on a shack and you've got nobody on your team and you got 0 PRS, that's the business that you've built. If you've got a little bit of a team, maybe you've promoted to yellow, pink, or blue, maybe you're this middle house and you're somewhere kind of like in a comfortable sweet spot, you know? But some of us are trying to build freaking empires. Some of us are trying to build palaces so large that we get lost in them. That's what I want in my life. So I want to go through, as we move through this little bit of a training, 5 ways that you're cutting corners in your business, okay? 5 things that you're doing to sabotage yourself and the success that you're having as you build this little palace, okay? And I don't say little palace because we're building big palaces. The first thing that I want to talk about is using stock photos. And some of you already know this, and some of you already are not doing it. But many of you are new, and maybe you're just beginning, and you're thinking, oh, I don't want to take selfies, whatever. When you use stock photos, it says, I'm basic and I'm lazy. When you take a little bit of time and you make your own graphics, it says, I'm creative and I'm fun and I worked hard and I deserve your money out of your wallet because look at my level of effort. And people appreciate it when you give them a little bit more, okay? Just really quick, can I confirm that you guys can see these slides? Okay, good. All right, good. Just wanted to make sure. I'm like rolling on and I muted everybody, so I could be just talking to myself and nobody can see anything. Okay, so stop using stock photos. And in addition to that, as an add-on to that, stop using your URL in your posts. Not only saying, shot from my site, here's my link, but saying things like, my link is in the comments. It's the same thing. Saying my link is in the comments is not like the good way to do it. It's the same thing. What you're saying to your customers is, I'm spamming you, I'm spamming you, I'm spamming you. And you begin to become part of that underlying current of people that don't like Facebook anymore because it's nothing but sales. All right, so when you create new content, it levels you up, it helps you stand out of the crowd, and it makes you a little more shiny and attractive to people that are just scrolling through Facebook, okay? The next thing that I want to talk about that you could be doing that's sabotaging your business is not buying new products. So anytime there are brand new products that come out, and I'm not talking about just like, oh, you need to buy a new mascara. I'm talking about we have fragrances that are out now. And if you didn't buy any, we need to talk about that. Because when you are not investing in your business, you are sending signals to the universe that you're not ready. that you're not ready for success and you are moving in that scarcity mindset. So the truth is when you're broke, and I get it, because sometimes we're broke. I've been broke before. When you're broke, you go into survival mode. You go into, let me protect what I have. Let me protect what I have. And so you start penny pinching and you start being cheap, right? But what you don't realize is that at some point you have to move from the scarcity mindset to the abundance mindset. And people in abundance, they don't say, oh, I'm not going to buy a fragrance. You know, they buy it because they know it's an investment in their business. And when you're investing in yourself, you're telling the universe, I'm ready. You're saying, I'm ready for whatever's God's plan is for my life. I'm stepping up. I'm investing in myself. I believe in that I have it inside of me. I know this is going to work out, and I'm trusting that I have the tools and the resources to make this successful, because look at me. I'm investing. Look at me. I'm moving forward with my business. Right? So if you're still sitting on 0 PRS, you are sabotaging your success because you are telling the universe you're not ready for it. Okay, I'm preaching. Let me move on. Next one. Bogus binging, booze. This one is a big one, and I wanted to put this one on here because I've fallen prey to this many times. At the end of the week, if your log is higher for Netflix than it is personal development, you're doing it wrong. If your tally says you've watched every single episode of the Game of Thrones, but you haven't looked at one book or watched one training or done any kind of personal development, that might be the #1 reason why you are failing at this business. And don't get me wrong, I like to binge watch. I like my shows. Orange is the New Black, I can't help myself. Walking Dead, I get drawn in every single time. When you look at it, and I get it, we're all busy. I'm busy. You guys know, you're my team. You guys know we've got a husband. I work 3 jobs. I've got 2 kids. I got 2 dogs. One's a puppy and one's dying. So I get being busy and having your plate full. What you have to do is become a ninja at maneuvering your time and multitasking. So what I've started doing is I listen to my Audible in the car. That's how I've gotten through 8 books. I have a 25-minute drive to the yoga studio. It might only be 25 minutes, but that's at least a chapter each way. Right? So that's 2 chapters every time I'm in the car. So in the car is one way to get it in. Another way that I'm getting it in is when I'm doing the laundry or any house cleaning. I turn on my Audible and I put in my headphones and I'm folding laundry, or I'm washing the dishes, or I'm not really ever washing the dishes because, hello, I have teenagers. But I'm wiping down the counters, or I'm cooking. Whenever I'm cooking dinner, I have it on. Occasionally, maybe like once a month or twice a month, I'll do Netflix instead. But I want to make sure that my scale is leaning way heavier in my personal development category versus my Netflix account, right? Another way that I've been finding time for it is I stopped showering. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. I stopped showering. Why? Because to me, a 15-minute shower is a complete waste of my time. I can't hear anything. I can't do anything else. I'm just stuck in the shower. And if I want to take an army shower and get out in 2 minutes, that's great. But I got to shave my pits and stuff. So that takes time, right? So I started taking baths instead, right? So one, it gives me a little bit of quality time. That 20 minutes, I'm in the bath. I get some quiet, I shut the door, and I turn on my personal development. Now I'm multitasking. Now I'm getting clean. I'm not a stank girl. 2, I'm getting me time. I'm blocking out away from my family for a little bit and saying I'm important. 3, I'm getting my personal development in. So I made that, to me, that's like the Holy Trinity, right? It's so good for your body, your mind, and your spirit to do things like that. So just start to notice how often and where your ticker is escalating. Is it on the Netflix side where you're downgrading your business because you're wasting your time and you're not putting it towards your business, or is it upgrading because you are educating yourself and moving into new hemispheres of brain waves and thought processes? All right. That was number 3. I didn't number them because I don't want to put them in order, like one is more important than the other. This one is taking the Facebook stroll. So And another one that I'm guilty of is you just get on your phone and you're like scroll, 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 and then it's an hour later and you've liked a couple of things and you've hearted a couple of things, but really, what is the impact of that time? How is it working like effectively? And I would say that it's not. So I want to make sure that your time on Facebook is more deliberate and more intentional. We use Facebook all the time, but we need to make sure that we're not getting sucked into the Bermuda Triangle that is the Facebook stroll, where we get lost and we suddenly we're watching cat videos, or we're watching, you know, cooking recipe because I love those things. Those little yum videos where they like they make it all in front of you and it's only like 5 minutes, but you watch 5 of those and you're 30 minutes deep. You see what I mean? It's a black hole, so you have to protect yourself. You have to give yourself some armor, and the way to do that, the first way, is to set a time limit. I'm going on Facebook. I'm only going to be on Facebook for 20 minutes, right? So now that you've given yourself 20 minutes, now you need to make sure that you're using that time as wisely as possible. And the way to do that is to organize your friends list your friends into lists, right? Because if you're like me, you've got lots of other unique presenters that are in your friends list, and you don't want your Facebook feed cluttered with a bunch of people trying to sell you stuff that you already sell, right? Like, you don't want to see that. It's a waste of time. So you move all of your friends into a list. You can segregate them out. You can have unique presenters in one thing if you want to follow a couple people, whatever. I find it one list is all I need. I need my networking list. I need the people that are potential customers, my customers and my potential recruits. So you click on lists or feeds. So lists is on the laptop. My cell phone says feeds. So you create a new feed or you create a new list. And then you add all of your current friends. You just click on all the people that you want to network with. Obviously, not including like other unique presenters, not including, I don't know, whoever else, you know, people that are in Brazil or whatever. Make sure that it's really people that you've already qualified for, like potentials, right? Like you want it to be your potentials list, so that when you click show feed, all you see is those people. So now you're actively networking with the right people at the right time when you're only limited to 20 minutes or whatever a day, right? And then when you add new friends, you click send friend request and then right click add to list. And then once they accept your friend request, they're automatically added to that list. So you don't have to go back and add them later. So that's a nice little tip as well. Okay. I'm talking fast because I have 30 minutes and I know that this is enough content to get through 30 minutes, but I don't want you guys to have to sit on here for 30 minutes while I get through it. I hope there's some good nuggets in here because I'm about to drop a bomb on some right now. Live lurking like it's your job. So if you are on Facebook, this is kind of like a segue from the last one. If you are on Facebook and you have been watching another unique presenter live for 2 hours, you have wasted 2 hours of your time. I don't want you on my lives. Unless you're coming on my lives to get some tips and some tricks and see how I'm doing it, I don't want you showing up on my lives. And that's not because I don't love you and I don't want to see you. That's because if you're on my lives, you're not working your business. And I want you working your business. You should want to be working your business. Watching other unique presenters put on makeup is not considered work, in my opinion. And so I get some unique presenters, and maybe this is like going to be very taboo because they want the followers and they want the viewers. But when it comes to my team, I want you doing income producing activities. And I would rather have 20 customers on my live than 50 unique presenters. Because that's my target market. I want my market in there. I don't want you guys in there. I only watch maybe 1 or 2 lives a week. Maybe I'll pop into somebody on the team just to see how they're doing, you know, check out their live, show them a little love. You guys know I'll pop in and out of your lives here and there just to say hi. I never stay for the whole thing. And then I'll say hi, I'll make a few comments, and then I'm out. I'm on to the next thing. I don't have 30 minutes to sit live with you, right? I love you, but I don't have that time. I have business to handle. And you should have business to handle too. And so if you're 2 hours deep, the next time you're on somebody's live, you just know that you are lurking and you are winning a trophy, but you are not going to win. You are maybe making a new friend, but you are not working your business, and you are not going to be successful that way, right? All right. Okay, we're moving on. This is getting me fired up. This is why I woke up at 5 a.m. because I had so much on my heart to like put this together. And I made these fancy slides. Can we show a little love for all my fancy slides? I was very proud of myself. Okay, 2 more ways to build better. All right, 2 more ways to build better. It's actually 1 way, but I broke it up into 2 columns. Focus on the heart of your business. And in my opinion, your heart is 2 parts, okay? Your customers and your team. So I want to talk about the customers for a second. When you're focusing on the heart of your business when it comes to your customers, this is how you begin to operate in excellence and build a better palace, right? Because that's our focus, is building a better palace, not a shack. We want a beautiful business. And the way to build a beautiful business is to be a customer service guru. You should be creating a follow-up schedule. If somebody orders from you, you need to track those orders. Give them the proactive updates. Don't wait for them to reach out to you and say, hey, when's my order coming? You should be telling them, hey, girl, I just checked your order. It should arrive today. Let me know when it comes. I want to hear what you think about it. Or, hey, your order had 1 thing on back order. It's going to ship later. And then remember that date. If it doesn't ship till April the 9th, then on April the 9th, you need to be checking in your back office and giving your customer an update to make sure it went out. Hey, girl, I just want to let you know that foundation that you ordered on back order, it shipped today. It should be to you in a couple of days. Let me know when it arrives. How amazing is that for your customers to feel like you are taking care of them from start to finish? You are creating loyalty with your customers because they know that they're not going to get that from anybody else, okay? And another thing to add to that about focusing on your customers is don't just send them to your site. If somebody says, I want to order a foundation, don't just send them a link and be like, here you go. Go fend for yourself. 9 times out of 10, they're going to get distracted. They're going to find other things that go on in their life because they're not on your schedule. They're on their schedule, right? They've got their own things that they're dealing with. And so before you know it, they done spent that money on something else. When somebody says that they want something from me, this is twofold. I send them an invoice. As soon as they pay it, I order it for them. Every single time. Sometimes I have it shipped straight to them. Sometimes I have it shipped to me, and then I make it all pretty, and that's even extra customer service because then it's got the Marie touch on it, and it's got sprinkles and glitter, and I made it all fancy. But it shows that you're taking care of them. It's one less thing that they have to do in their life. Oh, they have to go navigate the site, and then they have to enter their credit card information. It's going to be so much easier if you take care of them from start to finish, and it ensures that you get that order in. Because I know some of you feel my pain when somebody says they're going to order, and then it's like 2 weeks later and they still haven't ordered. And you follow it up, and they're like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Oh, no, I don't have any money right now. Where was the money you had before? Just take the payment right away. Ensure you get the order. And 2, when you push orders through yourself, it's considered a rebate, not taxable income. So it's a win-win. It's a win-win. I talked to you guys about that before, but that's definitely something I wanted to talk about. And then keep a log of their orders, right? If so-and-so ordered taffeta foundation and they come to you 2 months later and they're saying, hey, can I reorder my foundation? It is not good customer service for you to say, what color are you? What color was that again? You should know. Your customer should feel like they are your only customer. They should feel like you take care of them and you know them from top to bottom, and you know their skin, you know if they've got acne, you know if they're dry, if they're oily, if they're flaky or whatever. That is your job to know because you are providing excellent customer service. And the second they say, and this one got kind of tricky for me because I had a customer order a lot of the different pressed shadows, and she said to me, well, what would you recommend out of the ones that I don't already have? Right? And I could have said, well, which ones do you have? But that looks lazy, and that doesn't say I'm providing excellent customer service. I said, let me go back to my notebook, let me see what you've ordered, and then I'll come back to you with my recommendation. That says I'm organized. That says I've got my life together, even though I don't really have my life together. And it says that I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to give you a good recommendation. I'm not going to just try to sell you something. All right? Builds trust. And when they trust you, they will give you their money. It's the combination. Trust is the combination to everybody's wallet. And then last but not least, love on their page for your customers. And I'm not just talking about when they order from you. I'm talking about love on their page all the time. Be there in their face all the time. You want to be at the forefront of their mind. You want to see them showing up on your lives. You want to see them, tagging you and sharing your things. And the only way that's going to happen is if you are the one to move first. You go to their page first. You make the first move. Okay? And that should be all the time. Especially to your loyal customers, your VIPs. They should know you care about them. It's all relationship based. And then the second column I want to get to really quick is your team. So to me, the team is your heart of your business. And some good ways to take care of your team is to give them incentives. And nobody said that you have to give diva ring lights to everybody. You could do small little incentives, little notebooks, little coffee mugs, $2 things from Marshall's go a long way with letting your team know that you thought about them and you cared about them. I'm always buying presents for my team. I come home with a bag from Marshall's and Mike's like, oh, another Marshall's haul. And I'm like, yeah, but look at all the cool stuff I got for my team. I just love it. I just love giving to people. It feels good for me and it feels good for them. And leading by example is huge, right? You got to walk the walk and talk the talk. You cannot just bark orders. You got to be willing to get down in the trenches with your team and do what you're asking them to do. And if you don't have 503, how dare you ask them to have 503, right? Maybe there was a bad month, or maybe you're not working your business. You just want them to work your business for you. That's not the kind of palace I want to build, where I've muled my team to get where I want to go, right? And then weekly check-ins. Not all of your team is going to need weekly check-ins, but many of them would love that, to know that you were thinking about them and know that they cared about you, because many of them used to be customers and they used to get all that love. And suddenly they sign up to be on your team and it's like you dropped them like they were hot. That's bass backwards. They need extra love once they sign up on your team. Now they're closer. Now they're a Y sister. And then the last thing I want to talk about, and this one is kind of a doozy, is babysitting versus building. So I had some leaders in another chat talk about how they don't babysit their teams. And we've even heard other elite leaders talk about how you want to use your resources, right? And go out there and just figure it out. And that is a very valid point. But the truth is, I'm your mentor, I'm your business partner, and I am your friend. And I would never leave my team hanging because I just want them to figure it out, right? And what that does is it says, I love you and I care about your business. I don't want you to have to figure it out every time. I want you to know that you can come to me. And you have to decide what kind of leader you're going to be to your team. Because I know many of us have thought, I wish I had a better sponsor, right? I'm not the only one. I actually haven't really thought that much, but some people might have thought. I know it's a common thing. My sponsor doesn't take care of me. My sponsor doesn't take care of me. Okay, well, instead of bitching and complaining about your sponsor, why don't you become the leader that you needed? Why don't you use that as fuel to become the leader that you needed? Now, nobody on the Glam Squad feels like that because y'all know I take care of you. But in general, you want to lead by example and you want to love on your teams. And it's not babysitting. It's called building with your business partners. It's being there for them. A lot of people don't know. We take things for granted. We use the term PRS a million times. Somebody signs up for the company and we just assume that they know what PRS means. That's not fair. That's not fair. That's why they feel like they don't know what they're doing, is because they haven't been given the basics. And you got to give them all of the love. And it's not babysitting, it's building. Okay? And then my last and final slide. My final thoughts. I feel like I just need, a sip of my tea. This is a little bit profound. Not really. Integrity is choosing courage over comfort, choosing what is right over what is fun, fast, or easy, and choosing to practice our values rather than simply professing them, right? That's what I had to say. That's my talk. I feel like it's pretty legit. I'm very proud of my slides too. All right. Does anybody have any questions about everything that I just dumped on you guys? Or feedback? Do you think there's anything else I need to include?
I thought it was good.
Thank you. I probably need to slow down a little bit. I talked fast.
I thought you did fine. I thought it was fine. But when you brought up the Audible, and this is like the state, if anybody has Verizon for your cell phone carrier and you do the Verizon Up thing, right now if you have enough points or if you have a reward or whatever, Audible is one of the free, you get a free Audible book.
Oh, that's cool. That's one of the perks for the Up points.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
So just if anybody hasn't, I just uploaded one, so just FYI.
Very good. All right, my friends, I hope you found that content valuable, at least some kind of nugget that you can use in your own business. As always, I'm here to help any of you. If you ever have any questions or you want to brainstorm and strategize, I am happy to help you out. All right, I'm going to stop share. I love you guys. Don't forget, I'll be gone all next week, so if you need me, you need to get to me before Sunday. All right, I love you guys.